shape, then focus on the day. We always here for you. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, don't make them yours. What we run is Olympic, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, don't make them yours. What we run is Olympic, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. You know what we're running with no award toys. This culture meets the art, podcast with the heart. And essence of the growth, the powers in the people. Without you we ain't equal, what we lack is ego. We're back now, so here we go, run the show like Arsenio. Episodic, our rituals, minds change to visual. Representation of our nation and its differences. Some explanation of our uniqueness and innocence. Mass media's intention is to desensitize. We raise the rise, and knowledge is power. Without it, we turn coward and proud of a known product. Like we could take it with us. I wish the greats were still alive and here with us, but it is what it is. We're left here to share a gift, and that's precisely what we'll do with it. Shape shift and fluidly, we can pass this test and still in our unity, elevated through stress. Yes, MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, don't make them yours. What we run is Olympic, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. MediaScope when you emotionally broke. Settle in our knowledge and conversations, don't make them yours. What we run is Olympic, not your hands on the torch. Take it easy like Sundays on the porch. Yeah. It's up to you. You got the torch now. MediaScope. We're here for you, you, and you. We got it all.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the livest media tech and pop culture party in the land. That would be MediaScope. You know, I big myself up every time because we're the only media tech and pop culture party in the land. But welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so happy to be back here for season 9. This is episode 2 of season 9. Wow. Can you believe it? Before you know it, it will be next year. Let me not rush the year already. But in case you've never been here before, this is MediaScope, all things media, tech, and pop culture. And who am I? I'm Dr. Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist, and all things media, tech, and pop culture. I'm stoked and excited, as per usual, because I gave you a guest last week. This week we have another guest, and I'm so excited about our special guest. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and do some things. This is, if you're on YouTube or the tubing of the U, please like and subscribe. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? And we're in a bunch of different places, and I'm going to say hello to everybody in just a few. And again, here's the information. If you have never been here before, come back, because I know we have some other special guests that will be back. Hopefully, we have some special guests today, but we hope they will be part of the MediaScope Massive. So we're in a bunch of different places today. We are on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, either my Facebook, the MediaScope Facebook, or Indie Soup Media Facebook, what's up? If you are watching on the tubing of the U, we're in a couple of YouTube places today, a few. So my YouTube, also Indie Soup Media YouTube, and our special guests YouTube. If you are on Instagram, what's going on Instagram? I'm going to say hello to all of you in just a few, but we're on 2 Instagrams today, mine and the special guest Instagram. Also, for those of you maybe watching on Roku, what's going on? Hello, hello. And LinkedIn, I know I treat you like the stepchild, but hey, how you doing? Welcome. Let's say hello to a few people. JD says, I'm here. What's up, JD? How are you? And wow, UK time. I so love the international audience because it's like, if you're in Asia, it's like you're 12 hours ahead, depending on where in Asia. Those of you in the UK, are you 6 or 7 hours ahead? I think you're 6 hours ahead, maybe 5. Yes, because I think it's 5. So welcome. I know it's late in the night. Thank you so much for being here. Let's say what's up to some of the people on IG. Lisa Seeley is here. What's up, Lisa? Mangelo, I see you. Michelangelo, good to see you. Kiana is here. Arne, how are you? Welcome. Eyes on Me, LLC. Brian, Young Creative, what's up? How are you? Scotty B is here. What's up? Princess 7 Closet. How are you? ACB the Therapist is here. Classic C Gems, Bless Jules. How are you, Soror? Good to see you. And there's a lot of other people. And if I missed you, it's not because I wanted to miss you. I'm going to come back and say, hey, I'm here so that I see you. It just goes really, really fast. So you know what? Hey, Lisa Seeley, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome. All right. So you know what we're going to do? Oh, DCarpio, there's no such thing as late on MediaScope. You know that by now. So we don't want to keep our special guest waiting because she's got so much to share and I am excited for her to share it. So we're going to bring on our special guest right now. And after this, she'll be here. Nope, she'll be there after this. Beautiful, beautiful Danielle Gray. How are you?
Listen, you have the best energy, the best music. I was back here like, what?
Listen, we're trying to make a party atmosphere because I actually call this the Media Tech and Pop Culture Party. So
yes,
you're the special DJ today.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here. And I'm happy you said yes, because you know how some people are like, no, right away. You're like, okay, well, but you're such an amazing creator. And so I was honored when she said yes. Oh, well, we're going to roll out some red carpet then. Thank you. So you know what we're going to do? This is Danielle Gray. I've already said this, but let's have you introduce yourself to the audience and then we'll talk a little bit. And remember, those of you on all the different platforms, please, if you have any questions, any comments, put them in the chat. We're happy to take them and answer them. Take it away.
All right. So first and foremost, it is allergy season. So if you see the tears coming down, maybe I might get a little emotional about something we talk about today, but it's more like allergies. So my name is Danielle. I am from Queens, New York, by way of Trinidadian parents. I have a platform called the Style and Beauty Doctor, which I started in 2007. We talk about fashion, beauty, everything from makeup to skincare. A big focus on skincare and aging. I recently just started a new tagline. Like if you're watching from my YouTube or from my Instagram, like I'm trying out this new tagline. I am your over 30 skincare and aging bestie. That's my new tagline. Let me know what you think of it.
I love it.
I'm gonna try it out a little bit. But because I am 42 years old, going to be 43 in August, I have shifted some of the conversation on aging and what that means, because aging now, as being in 40s now, over 40, I should say now, is a little bit different than when our parents were in their 40s. And it's not that stigma. It's not that, oh Lord, I'm old now, nobody's going to pay attention to me, like that kind of thing. So I like to talk about topics where it concerns your skin. People want to look how they feel on the inside. Before, people might have thought that life was over after you reach a certain age. And we all see that from the amazing women and men out there who look and do the most over 40, over 50, over 60. So a lot of people just want to look the same way on the inside, on the outside, they feel on the inside. And that's where I come in. So I have 3 YouTube channels, which I think I'm a little crazy to have. I have this one that we're on now. See, look at my eyes tearing and messing up my makeup a little bit. And then I'm mirrored, so I can't even see. Okay, there we go. This one that we're on, Style and Beauty Doctor, is my skincare channel. We talk about everything from hyperpigmentation, dry skin, injectables, cosmetic procedures like peels, lasers, that sort of thing. Recently, we've been kind of getting into some of the like generational wars, which I find to be hilarious and sad at the same time. I also have a channel, Life with Danielle, where I talk about Life with Danielle, vlogs and things of the nature of me going on in my day-to-day as a New Yorker skincare and fashion content creator. And then I have Style with Danielle, which is my fashion channel, where we talk about looking good, looking your utmost best without depleting your budget,
Yes. Okay, I already knew this was going to be a good time and going to be fun because I watch her. I watch all of her stuff, but when she does lives, it's exactly that. It's live and lit. So
I
I knew
love
this was going
it.
to be a good time. Live
The
and lit.
only thing better than a live is an in-person event, which I'm hoping to have soon.
Ooh, is it going to be in New York?
Yes.
Wow. All right. So those of you in New York, this is something to look forward to, a live event with Danielle. Let's take some comments. Ron Foster, and he's in New York too. So Ron
All
Foster,
right.
the photographer extraordinaire who also has a show on Indie Soup, is here. He was actually, he's my lead-in. He was before me. So what's up? How are you? How are you? Let's see. GR Houston Jack. What's up, G? She also has a show on Indie Soup. She is here as well. D Carpio says, welcome, Danielle. Welcome to the fold. Welcome to the fold. And yes, Ron Foster said we must connect. Ron is good people. You definitely want to connect with Ron. Absolutely. Crystal Harris is here and says, yay! Hello,
Hey,
Crystal
Crystal.
Harris. Trish is here and says, good afternoon, all the way from the coast. What's up, Trish? How are you? Let's take some IG comments. One nice girl says, let us know when the event is. We have a CQNY chapter. Okay, so I don't know. Do you know about CQ?
No, what's that? Oh, wait, not Club Quarantine.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
I am a card-carrying member of Club Quarantine, and we've got chapters like we're a fraternity or sorority. So there is a huge CQ New York is very, very active. So if you're having something, I'm telling you, CQ New York will be there.
All right.
Absolutely. Yes. So let us know when that is. Black Debutante Society, how are you? Dr. Harris, good to see you. Lovey is here. Girl Lexus is here all the way from Hawaii, from Honolulu, Hawaii. Hello. I am Janelle, says hello, Dr. T. What's up? How are you? And Musictron is here as well. Ask Mark Ward said, my events are always virtual and barely alive. Thank you for that, Mark Ward. Jody Red Butterfly is here, and D Tuckle. There's so many others. TV Diva is here as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm sorry, did I cut you off? Of course I did. Go ahead. I thought I cut you off. I thought you were about to say something. That's okay. That's the other Danielle. Okay. Wonderful. All right. So let's get into it. And again, folks, if you have any questions for her, please put them in the chat. I am happy to relay them to her so that she can answer. Let's talk a little bit about your YouTube journey. When did you start YouTube? And when did you, or not just YouTube, but like social media in general, but I know you from YouTube, but social media in general. When did you start, and when did it start to, quote, take off for you?
Yeah, so I'm one of them dinosaurs. I started my blog November 2007. And I started it because at the time, where was I working? I think I was working as a business banking specialist at HSBC. And like, I liked my job-ish. What I liked most about my job was the fact that I was able to help clients. So, if somebody was like, I just started this business, or I've had this business for 5 years and I'm looking to expand and I need, some help financially. What can I do? That was my thing. And before that, I was helping people on the personal side with like mapping out their future with mutual funds, annuities, life insurance, things of that nature. Mind you, I was in my 20s at the time. So it's like I'm helping people. I ain't had no money of my own, but I'm helping people twice my age with their money at that time. And to set the scene, this around the time when I started, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if there was some inkling. I feel like I had an idea that something was fishy because in a prior job, we used to do home equity lines of credit and home equity loans. And I remember doing what they called stated income. And basically, what that was is if a customer had a credit score that was over 700, as long as their debt to income ratio was under 40%, we could give them a loan or a line of credit. Which a lot of times when they say stated income, the customer could be like, Yeah, I make $500,000. No tax returns needed, nothing. As long as that credit score was over 700, and that debt to we got that debt to income. And sometimes there was a little creative calculations involved in getting that debt to income ratio down to 40%, 40% or less. So I always used to be like, but this isn't right. This doesn't seem like something we should be doing. So after a while, I stopped doing them, and I kind of got in a little trouble with that because as a you have a sales goal as a salesperson. So I don't know why this one little tear won't let me be great. So as a salesperson, you have certain sales goals, and so I'm like, so. At the time, I felt like something was wrong. But when things really hit the fan was in 2008. Obviously, we know the Great Recession. A lot of banks went under. A lot of people got laid off. Like there was a lot of things going on. So at this time, people were getting let go left and right to the point where I was doing the job of like 3 and 4 people. The bank had these high goals, like lending goals, but they weren't lending any money to people. So it was a lot. So I'm setting all of this up. I do tend to talk a lot, but there's always like a point to it, coming up around the bend. But there's a point. Right. I say all of this to say that there's like to set the scene. So I'm in this job where it's like I kind of love it, but I don't kind of love it. There's a lot of pressure on sales, which is a little impossible because of what is happening with the economy at the time. So I started this blog because I was like, oh, I need a creative outlet. I need to be able to do my own thing, blah, 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 blah. So I start this blog around in 2007. 2010 comes around, and I'm like, why am I here? Like, I feel like, why am I still like at this job? I'm missing a lot of opportunities because, at the time when I started in 2007, it was kind of like, I have a blog. Like you kind of whisper it because people are like, what the hell is a blog? What are you doing? Why are you playing around on the internet kind of thing? And then by 2010, it was still pretty much the same thing. So when I quit my job and decided to go full time, I had to lie to my parents. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go work for a magazine, which wasn't a big lie because I did wind up working for a magazine. It's just that, they wasn't paying me. I was supposed to be getting paid, but they wasn't paying me. I had to take them to small claims court. And I won a judgment, yet they were, that's a story. That's another story for another day. But anyway, so that was the beginning of things. At the time, everything was written. Pictures and written content. I was scared to death of doing YouTube videos because I felt like how do you do a YouTube video? I could talk to people, but I'm like, how do I talk to a camera and make it believable? So it wasn't until like 2015, 2016 when I started to kind of slowly, regularly put videos up. Then I stopped for a little bit, and then 2020 is when I was like, all right, we're going to be consistent with that. And at 2020, which was a time where I was like, all right, people aren't really looking at this makeup content. I really love skincare. Let me switch gears and go into skincare because at that time, I felt like not a lot of people were talking about skincare. And then it exploded. Everybody's looking at their faces at, in Zoom meetings and everything during the pandemic. They were like, what can I do with my skin? So, that's the kind of thing that kind of gave me a little boost into the YouTube ecosystem. But YouTube is one of the most stressful, painstaking, fulfilling, and enjoyable experiences in all of social media.
Wow. So when you say it's stressful, what is stressful about it? Because I think a lot of people see YouTube creators and obviously they know some work goes into it, but they don't understand the stress. What is stressful in your opinion about YouTube?
It's just like, and especially if you're someone who kind of thinks like, okay, like you kind of go from having one boss, like if you worked like a 9-to-5 job, to having like hundreds of thousands of bosses. It's like to sustain. Some people do take the route of brand deals. So in a way, the brands are kind of like one of your bosses, depending on how you're able to finesse and negotiate things. I wouldn't say that any brand is the boss of me, but you do keep these things, you do keep certain things in mind when you're creating content. Like, I'm not going to get on my channel and just be like, woo, and then, that kind of thing, because trying to attract a certain kind of, audience and a certain type of advertisers. Then it's the audience. The audience is definitely one of your big bosses. And the thing is, you have to find a healthy balance of listening to what the audience wants and then not listening to what the audience wants, because I have found that sometimes it's like you can't really listen to everything everybody says, because first of all, you're not going to please everybody. But sometimes it does kind of confuse you, because you're like, all right, I'm going to catch a groove. This is what I want to talk about. And I think that this video is going to do really well. And then maybe it won't. And the thing with YouTube is that there's a lot of packaging that you have to put into things. I do feel in many ways that platforms like Instagram and TikTok are a lot easier, because it's kind of like off the cuff kind of thing. YouTube, you really have to package things in a way that is going to attract somebody to watch your video. You could have the best video in the world, but if it doesn't have a good thumbnail and a good title, people may not know that. So it's a lot of having to package these things together, keeping up with the certain trends. And then sometimes, like, your experience on YouTube, your growth on YouTube isn't always going to be like this. It's probably going to be a little like and it's being able to navigate like those dips. And then there's also like that burnout where you're like, all right, I just want to keep producing. But then it's like, nah, I gotta take a break. So, but the YouTube audience is probably, and I'm saying this with Instagram people watching, my bad, Instagram people, but YouTube people do tend to be extremely loyal. They have to be, because they're sitting here watching an 8-minute, 9-minute. I put up an hour-long vlog, and I'm like, oh my God, nobody's gonna watch this. And then people leave comments like, oh my God, thank you for the long vlog. It's like, oh, but YouTube audiences, I think, are very, they're invested. They're in it.
Yes.
For the long haul.
Absolutely. I think when people come to YouTube, they're coming with the understanding that there is long form content, right? That it is basically like a quote TV program, whereas Instagram and a lot of others, those are short form content. It's short snippets. It's hard to hold attention, even though right now we are live on Instagram as well. It's very difficult to grow an audience for longer form content like what you see on YouTube, like replay stuff. No, people want quick and they're out. So absolutely. Yes. So for a minute, let me take a minute to say what's up to everybody. Welcome to the fold. You are watching MediaScope, all things media, tech, and pop culture. And today we have an amazing guest. We've got Danielle Gray, who is known as the Style and Beauty Doctor. And I always love when you pop it, not a doctor, when it pops up over here.
I got to tell you a funny story about that.
Please do. Please do. We like stories here.
Oh, well, the funny thing about it is
unless you didn't want to do it now, but
oh, no, you go ahead. I'll tell you later.
Okay. We'll work it out later. So let's say hello to some people, since we're going to do the thing later. GR Houston Jack says, loves this story of progression. Serena Wills, where's the food truck, Serena? You think you can come here without? So look, we have a food truck here. It may be imaginary, but it's very real to us. I'm waiting for the special, Serena. Where's the food truck?
Yeah,
so bring it on out.
I ain't never wanted to turn down no meal.
There you go. We're never here on Tuesdays, but we're always here on Wednesdays. So today is Taco Wednesday. So, fire up the truck, Serena. Miss Elise is here. How are you? She says, hello, ladies. Hello. And Ron Foster says he is absorbing the wisdom. This is good. Absolutely. Let's hop on over to the eyeing of the G. Zoila is here. What's up, Zoila? And DJ SK, hello. How are you? Good to see you. Evie is here. Hello. Bestie. How are you doing? Good to see you. Cintron is here. Hello, Celise. You're over here too. Wow, you're in two places at once. Wonderful. Good to see you. Bryson, what's up? Shelly Shell, how are you? Sunshine Lady says she's looking for a branding coach. Maybe are you asking a question about that? Or put it in the form of a question like you would on Jeopardy, please. Or are you just making a statement? Let me know. Also, Chill P, what's up? And Voicer, how are you? The voice herself. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Kiana and I am Anna Turner are also here. Want to say hello. Oh, and Sawyer and Joni Red Butterfly. I think I said hey, but hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So if you are just tuning in, we are here with the Danielle Gray, who's known as the style and beauty doctor everywhere. I first got in touch with or got to know who she was from YouTube. And I don't know. You know how you don't know how you find people, you just find them? You were one of the individuals that I just found, and probably because of, there's a cohort of YouTube creators that once you watch them, then you get suggested that. And I think you were a suggestion, and I am so happy you were because your content is fantastic.
Thank you so much. And that's another thing I love about YouTube. The whole discovery system, I think, is amazing because it's just anyway. You know how like I watch some weird things on YouTube sometimes. So like I might be into celebrity gossip for like the morning, right? But by the afternoon, evening, maybe I'm looking at Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson's channel because I want to know something about a star or something like that. Or I'm watching somebody's Walking Dead channel. Like there's just so many things, and I love how the YouTube algorithm just like brings these things to my attention.
It's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So tell me a little bit before we get to that. Let's bring in some. I want to play something for those of you who don't know. We are also on Indie Soup Media, which is available in several different places. But I'm just going to play the promo so you can see. Here we go. All right, so that is my network, Indie Soup Media, which is available on social channels, but we are also findable on Roku and IndieSoupMedia.tv. Back to our special guest, Danielle Gray, who is the style and beauty doctor, and we're talking all sorts of things, her journey into social media, her journey on YouTube. Well, let me ask you, which came first? Was it YouTube or did you start on another social platform?
I definitely started with a blog first. When blogs were like the thing, listen, blogs were like the fact that you could be able to draw people's attention with some pictures and long text, and to what we have now where you can barely get somebody to watch like a 10 to 12 second video. It truly amazes me. So I started with a blog first. While I was working a full-time job in finance, and went full-time 2010, been full-time since 2010, which is when every time I think about it, I'm like, damn, I really did that. But from then, I think the first social media that was available was Twitter. So Twitter was just a place where you go and you have those conversations, you share your blog posts or whatever. And then it was Instagram, and then I got on YouTube. And I don't know. I feel like everything comes in its time, but sometimes I'm like, dang, I wish I kind of, you know what? I'm not even gonna say that because we never have regrets. Everything that happens for a reason. But sometimes people will say things like, which was what I was about to say, and I had to correct myself, was that I wish I got on YouTube much sooner. And I feel like people think that you had to have gotten on YouTube during a certain wave in order to grow there. And that is so not true. You have people starting, you could start a YouTube channel today, and by the end of the year have 50,000, 100,000 subscribers. But you have to know like certain tools and certain strategies in order to, in order to get there.
Absolutely. So, well, let's talk about your strategy. First of all, before I do that, we do have a question in the audience. Trish says, do you ever use bentonite clay for skincare?
Me personally, no. Some people do. It can be great for like drawing impurities out of the pores. Sometimes people with acne prone skin might use it. I do find it to be a little drying. Some people might find that to be a lot drying, actually. But I personally haven't used it. I know some people that use it and swear by it. Anything that you try new with skincare, I always say do a patch test first, because the last thing you want is to try something and you have a really bad reaction. And rather than having the reaction all over your face, just do like a little something behind your ear. Sometimes people do it on their wrist, or like, this area here where it's not as visible. Do a patch test first and then slowly work your way into it. You don't want to go all guns a-blazing, making it hot immediately with the skincare product, because the thing with skincare, I find that people, they have an issue like, okay, I have a hyperpigmentation, or my skin is dry, or I have acne, and then it's like this big what's the word I'm looking for? It's like people get not excited. What's the word? People are like, oh my God, I gotta get rid of it right away. Gotta get rid of it right away. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna go heavy. This thing has gotta go right now. And that is the absolute wrong approach when it comes to skin. Some people might be able to get away with that, but for the most part, especially if you have skin of color is more prone to hyperpigmentation. If you put something on your skin that's irritating, it could lead to hyperpigmentation. And then it's like whatever you were trying to fix in the first place, now you got two issues, You
got it worse. Absolutely.
Right. So I always tell people, do that patch test first. And if you're trying something new, introduce it slowly into your routine. So you're not going to use it every day at first, unless it's something like a cleanser. A cleanser, you can pretty much know right away if it's going to work for you or not.
If it's too much, or right. Absolutely.
Anything with actives in it, or retinol, vitamin C, anything like that, you definitely want to slowly introduce it into your routine, and then, see how your skin is doing, and then you can increase it.
So you leave let's backtrack a little bit. You leave the bank, you're deciding to go on this journey to connect with people through your blog first, and then it turns into social media, etc. Why beauty? Why, or was it beauty at first?
Yeah, it was beauty and fashion. So one thing I forgot to mention is that I also went to the Fashion Institute of Technology.
What?
Yes. So I have a degree in marketing from Hofstra University, but I also have a certificate in image consulting from the Fashion Institute of Technology. So the funny thing, while I was waiting to step out and walk out for my graduation at Hofstra, I overheard two other students saying that they were going to go to FIT, which is what they call it for short. And I was like, in my head, like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. So I wound up doing that, got the certificate in image consulting. And that's why I actually started the blog, because I was trying to attract image consulting clients, which I did. I had a couple of clients. I was doing makeup at the time. So I would do makeup for weddings. I would teach people how to do their makeup. I would go in people's closets and be like, okay, this is going to be amazing. Maybe you get rid of this or donate it. Here's how you put these outfits together. These were things that I used to do like early on in my career. And I started a blog in order to, get more clients. But then I quickly realized, I'm like, girl, this is some backbreaking work. And in order for you to, make a living off of this, maybe you kind of tweak it in a way so that you can reach more people through the internet. And although, it's not like, you start something, especially not back then, where people like what we do now, everybody knows. Like, you can ask an 85-year-old, what's an influencer, and they're going to be able to tell you. But back in 2007, so it wasn't an immediate like financial hit, but over time, I wound up, like, within a couple of years, I wound up making what I was making at the bank, and then really exceeding what I was making at the bank after that. But what was I trying to tell y'all? The blog. What was the question again? I'm sorry. Sometimes I get a little brain fog. What was the
Now,
question?
see, you want me to remember what the question was? That's your job. Once I give it to you, you are supposed to hold on to it.
It was kind of like a puppy kind of moment.
Ooh, popcorn. No, exactly. 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 Yeah, no. Where your journey started. I asked you first whether so you started with YouTube. You started with a blog and then you got into YouTube.
Yeah.
And so that's where it was. And I was going to the point of why beauty. What made
Why
you
beauty? Okay, so I had
Yeah.
I had all of that image consulting background, and at the time, like I was a makeup artist, so I wanted to teach people like the right colors, the techniques, and things like that. Because I found that when I would have clients who were my skin tone or darker, I would use certain colors on them, and I would notice that they would be like wincing, like, "What the hell is she doing?" To the point where I learned to kind of take the product and hold it like this, so they couldn't see they couldn't see the color. Because when the deeper your skin, the more saturation in the color pigments of your makeup, right? Like you have on your beautiful red lip. I couldn't imagine you with like a muted, like something that's more. I can imagine you with something more muted, but you look so striking in the bold pigment.
Oh,
So I would have to hide this stuff like this and then put it on and then let them see afterwards. So I kind of was like, okay, there's a disconnect there with cosmetics. Plus, at that time, like we're still complaining. As a matter of fact, I saw something go viral with some Korean beauty. I forget the name of the brand, but it was like actual black pigment that they put in a foundation as their deepest shade. Black,
not brown, black.
And I think the cosmetic chemist said that there was maybe they put a little bit of white pigment in there as well.
So it's gray.
So
okay. Continue, carry on.
We still have issues with inclusivity and finding makeup now in 2024. In 2007, Lord. So in 2007, I was obsessed with makeup. I found that I was finding it wasn't the selection that we have now, but I found that I was finding makeup colors that suited me well, that I enjoyed wearing. But I also live in New York City, so I have the privilege of being able to go and where things are available. But my audience members, many who would be, they would live in New York as well too. But you've got people all over the country, all over the world. So I actually kind of blew up on my blog with makeup swatches. So basically, just putting makeup and showing how it looks on my skin tone, so that other people with deeper skin would be able to find that. And one of the ways that people were finding me is that I learned SEO, search engine optimization, which I'm not quite sure if that's still a thing now. It should be, but basically I would label every image and I would put certain keywords and tags in these posts so that if anybody was searching, like, okay, I want to see what this MAC lipstick looks like on darker skin. And so I would tag my pictures with that. So I'd be like, MAC Ruby Woo swatch on dark skin, on NW45, NW50, like the kind of terminology that people use, and it would pop up. So people would find me that way, which is kind of similar to what you would do with YouTube, except YouTube now is not necessarily, it's still a search engine, but more now it's based on suggestions. So, which I think is, I like a mix of both. I do like that YouTube tries its best to match your content with the audience that's going to enjoy it. Excuse me. I do enjoy that a lot, because then you find your people on YouTube, which is one of the main things that I really love about YouTube. But beauty has excuse me. And even now, when I talk about skincare, a lot of the skincare topics that I was talking about back in 2007, 2008, 2009, those early days, people would look at me like I had two heads. I remember one of the first sunscreen videos I did on YouTube for dark skin, I was getting death threats. I was like, what is happening? Like, people calling me a bed wench. people were saying that I needed to be shot.
Who was giving death threats?
The comments on these videos, I don't know what Hotep blog got wind of.
Not the hotel.
But they were saying, no, this bed wench needs to be shot for giving Black people solutions to white people's problems.
Really?
Yo, I was going through it. I walked so the people now can run. No, I'm just kidding. No, but
no, you're not. It's true. It's true. Those of you who started doing this like back in the day, if we could say it, that back in the day, you actually paved the way.
Listen,
you took a lot of the.
Yo, I roll with the punches, and even now you still get like the other day somebody commented like we don't need sunscreen, and I was like, girl, how long you been following me? I haven't heard a question, a comment like that in so long. But it's like things like that, like and the knowledge when it comes to skin. A lot of skin issues that we have come from us not knowing. Like for instance, like the thing I said where somebody has a skin issue and they're like rushing to fix it, and in the rushing to fix it and going hard and heavy with the skincare products, you can actually wind up hurting yourself more in the outrun. A lot of that in, using the wrong products. And sometimes it's not even our fault, because if you look at, I was just, my makeup artist friend, Jaleesa Jaikaran, she's another fellow Trini. She posted a clip from when I was on her podcast and we were talking about exfoliants. And I was just saying, like, if you look on the back of a liquid chemical exfoliant, a lot of times it will say use once a day. Some of them might even say use twice a day. I'm like, that's excessive. That's a lot. Like, you don't really need to be exfoliating your skin that often. So it's the misinformation. It's the way that we're counted out of everything. Like sometimes if I were to sit here and gather all the ways in which Black people are excluded, is it systemically or systematically? Systemically, yeah, you're right. The scholars, yeah. Are excluded from things, I would get depressed, because it's something as simple as, like, I was reading the comments again from the company that had like the Black Pigment Foundation. I'm reading the comments and people are like, why are people this upset over foundation? And it's like, yo, because it's maybe just foundation to you because you're used to having everything catered to you, but it's the way that we are neglected in everything from where you live. Like, you might not be able to get the proper nutrients in your food. You might not have a decent water supply. You might not have a decent air supply. Then you get sick from these things and you go to the doctor. The doctor might have some preconceived notions about you because you Black, and you might not get the proper care. And it's just like all of the, like, I hate to kind of put a damper on everything that was so like.
No, that is absolutely correct. There is. Go ahead.
And those are the reasons why, like, I like, it motivates me to be able to talk about skin and makeup and all of these things, because it's like we get excluded from so much and we suffer from so much like misinformation and then you go to the doctor. Sometimes the doctor's giving you misinformation, and like, I make it my purpose to highlight professionals that look like us on my YouTube channel. So a lot of times I'll have somebody who, like, I've had Dr. Crystal Agu, who specializes in hair loss. I've had Dr. Michelle Henry, who's my dermatologist. I've had Dr. Corey Hartman, who I freaking love. He's the shadiest, but most amazing dermatologist online. And I've never been to his practice in person, but I just know he does amazing work. And it's like there's, as I mentioned, being, getting upset over a lot of things that we're excluded in. There are things that I do like to highlight that do make life better for us. And beauty is one of the many things, but it's what I focus on because it's what I love.
Wow, fantastic. We've got some comments. We have a new subscriber. Teresa Jordan says, I'm a new subscriber, new to new with my channel to develop as a realtor, fashion influencer, and 43-year-old mother of 4 who's trying to keep it fabulous like you, not me, you. Danielle, she's not talking to me. Thank you for being an inspiration. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Definitely. So welcome, Teresa. Welcome to the fold. You are now also a part of the MediaScope Massive. So thank you for being here. Ron Foster says, speak and real talk. Let's see. DiCarpio says great convo and great info. And I know we had a question from Sunshine Lady over on Instagram. I have to find it first. Sunshine Lady, would you mind putting it in again because it's now gone so far up? Hopefully Instagram will start to fix these things so we can get the comments over in the encoder. But until then, I have to physically look. Film Fest Diva is here, says hello. D Tuggle, I don't think I said hi, but if I didn't, hey, After Dark with Johnny Ray, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. It is wonderful to have you. Kat Perry Williams, how are you? John Copeland Jr., which is 1/4 of the Gentleman's Corner, which is also, it's tonight. They're going to be on tonight, but they're also coming to Indie Soup Media, and we're happy to have you. Black Debutante Society says Dr. Hartman is her dermatologist.
See, I love me some Dr. Hartman.
Yes. Also, Charnel Michelle, I see you. She says my 2 favorite people. So I don't know if you know Charnel, but Charnel was one of my students at Nova Southeastern University. So hello, Charnel. How are you? And now she lives in LA. A lot of my students, for some reason, moved to LA. And I'm glad because I told them, you need to leave here, go to LA or New York. If you're to leave here, no offense, Miami, but you know, whatever. But in any case, we are speaking with Danielle Gray, who is known as the Style and Beauty Doc. She has a style channel on YouTube as well as the beauty channel on YouTube. And so let's go back for a moment and keep asking questions. We have a little more time. Let's go back for a moment. So you talked about some of these misconceptions. What are the biggest misconceptions when it comes to skin in general, but then when it comes to Black skin? What are some of these misconceptions you're hearing?
I would say now I might get a little jumped on or whatever. But I don't care, Nuck, if you butt. But the whole notion.
Not Nuck if you butt. Go ahead.
I'm a mess. I'm sorry.
You are, but we love it. We love it.
but the notion of Black doesn't crack. Like, yes, it does take a little longer for us to show signs of wrinkles than it does like some of our other counterparts. But I just feel like sometimes it also implies that we don't need the care. Like you still need to, I feel like you still should care for your skin, wear the sunscreen. I think not wearing that Black people don't need sunscreen is one of the biggest misconceptions. Although it's one that I feel like is being more accepted in social media because I'm seeing, a lot of the younger influencers and, putting on their sunscreen and wearing the sunscreen and whatnot, or putting on the sunscreen and wearing the sunscreen, the same thing. But also that we don't need certain procedures. Like I feel like people think that, before I even get to that, I think like a lot of us fall into this natural is better trap. Now, I get it because a lot of times you hear like things in the news like this was found in this product and this causes cancer. And unfortunately, some of that is hyped. I hate sometimes the way the media will take something. And I don't know, I feel like sometimes the media likes clicks and views and advertiser dollars more sometimes than, getting the right information out there, yes. You know what I'm saying? But I think I understand where the fear comes from, but natural doesn't always mean better. And there's always that common rebuttal that people will tell you when it's like, okay, but poison ivy is natural. And, obviously poison ivy is something that can harm you. But I've seen where people are like, they don't want to do things that have, that do have the research in it that will work that has been proven to work for the skin, or maybe they may not go to a dermatologist or even an esthetician. It's, at least start with an esthetician There's a case for both, because an esthetician is going to probably care for your skin more on a regular basis than you would see a dermatologist. But I do think that it's important to see those professionals, because there comes a point where over the things that you buy over the counter that you can get from like the drugstore, Sephora, Ulta, these type of places, they do what they can, but they can only contain but so much of an active ingredient for them to work. And sometimes they're like, I talk about this in like videos and stuff, where there's levels to things like dark spots and discoloration. If it's a newer dark spot, meaning like you've had it for a couple months, like 3 months, 4 months, typically what you find over the counter, drugstore, Sephora, wherever, will help to fade it over time. Usually takes about 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes a little bit more. However, if you've had them for a little longer, 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, that's where you really need to go and see a Skin of Color pro. And there's different options. Like they can start you off with a prescription topical, and then see how that works. And then maybe they'll move you on to certain types of facials, chemical peels, lasers, that sort of thing. I feel like a lot of that, and again, it's also because of access. We can talk about medical racism, throw that in there again.
Right.
And it's just that sometimes people just don't know that these things are available, and it kind of keeps people on this rat race. It's like, all right, I'm going to use the, as a matter of fact, I just got a comment on a video I did a while back on turmeric, where somebody was using that like in a paste to get rid of their dark spots. And I was, kind of talking through the pros and cons of that. And that sometimes, the things that are in your kitchen, some things might be okay for you to use on your skin, but for the most part, those things were made for consumption, for you to eat it. When something is specifically made to be used on the skin, it's, it's supposed to be tested. Like if you buy something from a big brand, it's going to be something that they put through testing. Smaller brands, maybe not. Depends on what you get,
right.
That kind of thing. And it's not to say that, trust the big brands before the smaller brands, but there I go with seeing the puppy again. Oh my God. That puppy just keeps coming. Oh my God. But basically what I'm trying to say here is that there are a lot of things that we can have access to that we don't, because of a number of things, socioeconomic reasons, just the education behind it. I started going to a dermatologist, Dr. Michelle Henry. I think I started seeing her like 2018 or something like that. For the longest time, I had hollows underneath my eyes. And anytime I would go to a beauty event, I would ask the dermatologist, and this is going on 6-7 years. I'm like, okay, what can I do for underneath here? And they'd be like, filler. And I'd be like, all right. Because, they didn't look like me. So I was like, yeah, of course you're going to tell me because I'm filling my eyes. Right. No crack.
Right. And that's one of the misconceptions, right?
So when I met Dr. Michelle, and I was like, all right, let me ask. She's going to be like the 10th dermatologist I'm going to ask what to do for underneath my eyes. And she's like, oh, if we do a little fill. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And that became another thing that I was kind of like a misconception that I kind of broke through on the internet back then. Not just me, other creators as well, but we talking about me here. But since then, I've seen that the conversation has become a little bit less taboo when it comes to cosmetic procedures and people of color. And there are a lot of things out there that we don't have to deal with because there are procedures and topical medications and things of that nature that we can use. It's just that, and then the next part of it, you can't just go to anybody to get this stuff done, which is why I like the Dr. Hartmans, the Dr. Henrys, the Dr. Agus, the many, many amazing dermatologists and estheticians that are out there that deal with skin of color, is because, you have to do your research. You have to go to someone. And it's not even just good enough to go to a good dermatologist. You have to go to a good dermatologist who specializes in skin of color, because you can have somebody who might be, amazing at what they do, but if they don't work on blacks, stay back.
Wow. But that's very important. And that, I mean, I guess that's across the board, because if it's the same thing with, okay, laser, right? You're very fair and you have blonde hair, you're trying to go get laser hair removal and you're wondering why it's not working. Well, it's attracted to the pigment in your hair, which is why, and there's not enough difference between your skin color and your hair color. Same thing with very dark skin and very dark hair. It's very difficult. I mean, they've made some inroads with lasers like the YAG laser. Is that what it's called?
Yes,
The YAG?
There are lasers out there that work for us, but the thing is, you got to go to somebody who knows how to use it. So you have to have two things to go together. You have to have the right laser and the right person behind that laser, because somebody hit me up years ago, a white dermatologist, and I know a lot more now than I knew then. This was probably about 2 years ago, but I knew enough then to ask, you got the laser for the blacks? And they was like, yeah, we got the laser for the blacks. I mean, they ain't say that.
Not for the blacks.
But they were like, yeah, come on in. So I go in and we do the first session, and she burned me. So I got a burn here. I think something on my chin, and then here, because sometimes you get a little lady chest here, little chest here right there. And I was like, okay, I knew that wasn't supposed to happen. So I was like, all right, I ain't going back to that lady. Thankfully, it was just a superficial burn that it healed on its own. My melanin came back. There was no scarring, nothing. Thank the Lord, because a lot of people are not that lucky. So months go by, and I told them they burned me. Months go by, and then somebody from the office says, "Oh, now we have the somebody who could use the laser." And I was like, "But and then I asked you that from jump, like what? Like what?
It's too late now after your 3 colors. Oh, now you have somebody that could."
So you have to be very, very careful. And I have videos on my channel on what to look for, how to find someone. Thankfully, there are platforms like if you're in the UK, there's the Black Skin Directory UK. In the US, there's Skin of Color Society, which they work very well with a lot of media outlets, which is how I wound up meeting people from the Skin of Color Society. So it's essentially an organization where a lot of doctors of color, dermatologists of color specifically, are part of this organization, and you'll find people all around the country. There's also, I'm trying to think of her IG. I think it's Black Esty. The picture and everything is like right here, but my head can't see the letters. But there's a Black esthetician directory as well too that you can go. But even while you're looking at these things, you still want to make sure that you properly vet the person, because one person's great experience with a dermatologist can be different from yours, because insurance, what you look for in a provider might be different. What I look for in a provider's, so that sort of thing. Do you mesh well? Are you getting the vibe? Is the bedside manner good? That kind of thing. So
absolutely. And let's take some comments. Michelangelo over on Instagram said about them, we were just playing. Now we got someone to work on this thing. We were just playing it for. Don't play with people like that. That's crazy.
That's exactly what they did too.
And Film Festiva says, I won't even let non-Black makeup artists do my makeup, let alone non-Black dermatologists. Okay, now let me say something here. You need someone who is well-versed in skin of color. That person may not always be Black. So something to think about, because what I had the same attitude when I was getting headshots taken when I first started the whole voiceover journey, and I had to get headshots taken. So I went to a photographer here who does a lot of great, Bob Lasky, shout out to Bob Lasky. He does a lot of great headshots. And he was like, oh, well, I have somebody to do your makeup here. And as soon as he said, I was like, side eye, hashtag side eye. I was like, I'm Black, right? He said, yeah, but she does everybody. She was like the best makeup artist I've ever had. And somebody who is a true makeup artist will be able to do anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's really because, and then there are people who are melanated who don't know what they're doing. So you just really have to, I hate to say trial and error, but you can get great recommendations from people. That's how I found like the dermatologist that I went to, etc. You could get recommendations, and then you don't have to. What is your take on this? You don't have to go to the first dermatologist that's recommended to you, correct?
Right. I always tell people now, the unfortunate thing about this is not free. Like, obviously, like you're not going to be able to just sit at dermatologist for an hour and bounce around like for free. I always say do the consultation. The consultation price usually rolls into whatever service you're going to get, if you're going to get a service. But a consultation is probably your best bet because one, you'll get a feel. Thank you, Alicia. One, you'll get a feel of this person's vibe. I think vibe is super important. I think for me, sometimes I look at vibe before anything else. Well, no, that's not true. I'll look at the reviews and then I'll do vibe, or I'll do vibe first and then I'll look at the review. But vibe sits up very high for me. It's not uncommon for me to pick someone because I like their vibe, right? A few times that's burned me in the past, but that's with all things, right? But during the consultation, you'll be able to feel out this person's vibe. Also, they'll be able to kind of give you, depending on what it is, they may be able to give you what they suggest your course of treatment is going to be. Because, you could say, oh, I have hyperpigmentation. And me as a content creator, I'm like, oh, well, a couple of things that you might be able to do for hyperpigmentation. Prescription topical. There's PicoSure. There's Cosmelon peels. There's this peel. There's that peel. There's this laser. There's that laser. But obviously the person, the dermatologist is going to be like, okay, we're going to do this course of treatment for you. And then you have to be really patient too, because not all things are going to go like that. And then you have to do your homework at home. So you're still needing to wear your sunscreen, cleanse, regularly exfoliate, moisturize, those sort of things at home. But that consultation, it's not free, but that consultation should help you to get a vibe. And then sometimes, maybe things was all, first we started out real cool, like Destiny's Child was singing in that song, right?
Yeah, right.
Right? At first things might start out all cool. And then later down the line, you're like, oh, what am I doing here? Like, I have this conversation with myself, with my dentist every time. And I've been going to this dentist for damn near 15 years. And every single time. The last time I went was because I had a change in insurance. And I was too lazy to find somebody new. So I was like, all right, let me just go to them. I'm going for a cleaning. And it was so wonderful. They took me in just like that. And I'm like, all right, I'm glad I didn't get rid of them. But the next time I go, they're probably going to have me waiting for 2 hours. And I'm like, these damn people. But know that you don't have to take mistreatment, and you could find someone else.
Absolutely. I think sometimes we don't advocate enough for ourselves, and we haven't been taught to advocate enough for ourselves. And like you, the laziness is like, I don't feel like finding somebody else. Maybe this time it will be different. Maybe this time they won't, cut the wrong side of my hair. Maybe this time, so we keep making excuses for them, but we have to be our own advocates, definitely. Mm-hmm. So we have a few comments. Black Debutante Society said, the best dermatologist I had was a white Jewish man. He was in his late 70s when I started going to him. And she also says, depending on where you live, there might not be a good black derm. So don't let that stop you in seeking treatment. Classic C Gem says, look at reviews as well. That may help in selecting if you cannot talk to people who have experienced it firsthand. Absolutely. Shawana Kennedy is here. What's up? Another creator on Indie Soup. And she says, hello, ladies. Hello. And Arlesia gave us such a good compliment earlier that our skin looks amazing. Listen, if I was coming on next to her, I had to do my darndest to make sure that I wasn't looking raggedy. Okay, I can't look raggedy next to her. Venus November says, you ladies look amazing. Thank you. You're amazing.
Venus is the sweetest. Venus is one of my homies from my YouTube channel and Instagram.
Oh,
yes.
Oh. Hey, Venus homie, how are you? Good. Now you're one of our homies.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wow. Well, I mean, I could speak to you all day. So will you do that? Will you come back? Because I haven't even gotten to the meat of whatever, because we have an hour. There's another show right after me, and I've already overtalked him. So I apologize, Danielle.
That's me too. I kept seeing puppies. So next time you gotta
No, that's okay.
Puppies.
Next time, no, we're gonna definitely do a part 2. Definitely, maybe we could take some more questions. I want to delve more into this whole content creation journey. So I'm definitely going to have you back. So let's do it whenever you are free. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Folks, you have been absolutely amazing. GR's Houston Jack says, great interview. Thank you so much. My comments froze on Instagram, of course. Why wouldn't it freeze? So if I missed some of you, this is why. Lovey says the same thing about the skin. Thank you so very much, so very much. You all are absolutely amazing. Danielle, you are amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, I am going to have you back. And that is it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Danielle, don't go anywhere. Stay on really quickly. Okay. So we are going to end the way we always end. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. And I forgot to give a shout out to the livest gospel station in Nassau, Bahamas, and the rest of the Caribbean, which we are on. We will be on tomorrow at 2, Gospel 107.1 FM, Nassau, Bahamas, and the rest of the Caribbean. We wish you a multitude of blessings, and we will see you all tomorrow. Everybody else, we love you for watching. Bid you adieu. You guys, myself, Danielle, and all of this great skin info, we're going to exit stage left. We will see you all next. Well, I will see you all next week. Cheers, everyone. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, for real now. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We can show you what you want.